Shuffle steering is an effective and the safest way to steer any vehicle. I'm Dave Storton, lead instructor for the Police Academy here in San Jose. The reason we teach shuffle steering and why it's safer is you have an airbag in the steering column here. If you get in an accident, this airbag is going to deploy towards you at great force. If your hands are in front of it in any way, you're going to punch yourself in the face harder than Mike Tyson can hit you. So let's take a look at the technique real quick here. My home hand position on the steering wheel is going to be 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock. For those of you with a digital watch, just keep your hands low. If I'm going to steer, I simply shuffle the wheel from one hand to the other. I'm just pushing up on one side, pulling down on the other side. Left to right. Imagine a line down the center of the wheel here, and I don't want to cross my hands over it. If for some reason I'm doing the traditional hand over hand method, or I'm going to try to avoid an accident and my hand's here and the airbag deploys, I'm not going to like it very much. So let's drive around a little and see how this works. This is just our little cone pursuit track here at the Marina Airport where we do most of our training. And we can do a bunch of steering here and just show you how effective the shuffle steering is. So as we drive around here, you can see that I don't cross my hands over that 12 o'clock position. I just shuffle the wheel left to right, whichever direction I want to turn in. And I don't need to cross my hands over. Now some people say, well, I can't get enough steering in quick enough. This is where we use what's called the caster effect. There's a natural tendency of the front wheels to want to straighten out because they're casters, just like on a shopping cart. So if I turn the wheel, if I release it, it wants to center. So I'm going to use the wheel's natural tendency to center itself like that. So I make my turn. As I accelerate out of the turn, I just let the wheel slip through my fingers, and then I can input my next steering for the next turn. Pretty simple. Now right now I'm in an SUV, so I'm not really performance driving, but this works with performance driving at any speed. The faster you're going, the less steering input you need. Simply shuffling left to right. Nice and smooth. The smoother steering that you do, the quicker you're going to be if you're trying to performance drive, which is our ultimate goal for the police. Now we're in a Crown Victoria, and we're going to see just how effective shuffle steering is for performance driving. I want you to pay particular attention to how I minimize the steering, because the more steering I put in, the more weight transfer I get, and the more steering I'm going to have to take out before the next turn. Also, my use of caster effect, or that tendency of the front wheels to want to straighten out. I'm going to use that to my advantage to let the car do a lot of the work for me. So here we go out onto the track. So we come down here, for example, for a right turn. For my shuffle steer, it's going to be just push up, pull down, release the wheel, let the caster effect straighten the car out for me. Push up, pull down, release. Very simple. I have a nice light touch on the wheel. I'm not trying to muscle the car around. I'm using that caster effect to stabilize the car through these offsets. Minimizing steering. Again, if I'm going to make a right turn here, this is a little bit more than a 90-degree turn, but I push up, pull down, let the caster effect straighten it out for me. Pretty simple and straightforward. Now you're going to find that it'll take you about 4 or 5 weeks doing this all the time, even in your own personal car, before you get used to the shuffle steering. You're going to have to kind of develop a muscle memory with it. If you're used to hand over hand palming the wheel like you do now, give it some time. Don't give up on it right away. Give yourself about 4 or 5 weeks. I think you'll find it's very effective.